Central Desk. I'm meteorologist Scott Mundt, and this is Weather or Not for Wednesday, January 14th. Colder air poured in during the evening and overnight. Along with it, we've had some strong wind, but the wind is dying down, but that wind will come back as we do get into Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday. We'll have very strong winds. Those wind gusts 60, 80 miles per hour still holding, still likely in western South Dakota for Friday. We'll also talk about our snow chances on Friday, as we'll have falling temperatures during the day with these strong winds and falling snow, reduced visibilities. And, of course, we'll talk about this weather pattern. Colder air returning. Here's Futurecast. High pressure and control of our weather for today. We'll go with mostly dry skies. And I say mostly dry because a flurry or two can be found parts of central South Dakota today. Might be able to squeeze out whatever moisture we have available as this cold air is in place. Sunshine, eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, but cold. Temperatures close to average. Numbers in the 20s for highs. Here's Futurecast as we go through the day tomorrow. Clouds will thicken. We'll have a quick bump up in those temperatures ahead of those strong northwest winds that will help bring in much colder air as we go through the day on Friday. Here is midnight on Friday. So this is Thursday going into Friday morning. It's showing those snow showers, and it's actually lining up with our strong northwest winds during that time, too. That's why we see these streaks of snow from the northwest to the southeast. More or less, it's riding that wind pattern. So we do have snow showers in our forecast. The amounts will stay very light, very hard to measure. Amounts coming in less than an inch in many locations. There may be a couple of isolated areas that do get close to an inch. If that happens, that may happen northeastern South Dakota, western Minnesota. See, by the afternoon, same thing. These streaks of snow showers will continue to move through the area. Once we get into the weekend, for Saturday, it looks like we'll have dry skies, but very cold. Temperatures in the single digits for highs, or for afternoon temperatures anyway, in eastern South Dakota and western Minnesota. Winds for today, they'll decrease as we do go through the day. You do notice that across eastern, southeastern KELOLAND as we do get into the afternoon. The winds will be a lot less than the wind speeds we had during the morning hours. Forecast today, we'll have temperatures in the 20s in eastern South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa. We'll try to hit the 30s, even with the thicker clouds in central South Dakota, and nearing 50 in western and southwestern KELOLAND. In fact, we do have 50 in the forecast in Spearfish and in Buffalo. Tonight, temperatures will fall to the teens and 20s. It could be one of those nights where we have slowly warming temperatures, as we'll start to see a southerly wind in eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. And then for tomorrow, we'll start to see winds change direction as we get into the afternoon and evening, coming in from the northwest. Before then, our temperatures will start to warm. We'll have numbers in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. 50s will be possible across western South Dakota. But once we get into that strong wind, forget it. In comes cold air, very cold by Saturday. And we'll talk more about that and be joined by meteorologist Brian Karstens coming up. And in our next weather segment, we'll talk more about these windy conditions. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not. Let's go ahead and cut the music because we need to put this in, Brian.
Oh, yes, we do.
Okay, need that sound effect for the wind because we will have a lot of it. It seems like once we get into tomorrow, we'll get a break from the wind today. It will decrease throughout the day. But tomorrow night, Friday, we'll watch western South Dakota. They could have some of the strongest winds again. We've been highlighting that area, suggesting, 60, 80 mile per hour winds. Already have the high wind watch across western, central South Dakota tomorrow through Friday. Again, we'll highlight that area, 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts. Even central South Dakota. There are some areas, maybe south central KELOLAND, that could get those wind gusts to near 70.
You know, that was another thing to follow up on as we were talking here in the break about just where we're going with all this wind. And yeah, central South Dakota has a lot of potential too, just not maybe as much as, right next to the Black Hills, but you definitely got to consider the fact too that there's going to be a few counties in here where you got snow and wind that's going to really combine. So this is how things start off right out the gate. And today, the wind speeds are manageable. They're actually going down, which is good. And I'd like to talk about that as we head toward this Wednesday evening and even early on Thursday morning. Nothing here too substantial. But keep in mind as we go through the day on Thursday, we've got an increase in the wind coming into western South Dakota. Now, Scott, it's interesting as you see the numbers coming in around Watertown and Aberdeen, already trying to peg some numbers close to 50. Given the warmer environment tomorrow, we're forecasting temperatures to climb into the 40s west of Sioux Falls. We've got a warm front on the move. So I think this is fair. It might be a little aggressive on timing in Sioux Falls. If we get to that 40-mile-an-hour range in the mid-afternoon, we'll see about that. But I do think that tomorrow night, this is going to get worse, especially out west.
Yeah, I would rather be a little more aggressive on this graphic than not, just because of the situation we've had. What we've seen this past winter as these systems do come in from the northwest, and we're looking at colder air to pour in right behind it. We've seen this before. We know about this, unfortunately, with those 100-mile-per-hour winds measured across parts of western South Dakota going back to last month. Will we get to those speeds? Right now, I would say no. And, Brian, this is something that you showed me last month. I showed this on whether or not during that same time frame last month when we were looking at these strong winds. I went through this again yesterday, and we'll go through this right now. This is a look at Rapid City. We're looking at that momentum transfer. That's that graphic you see right in the center of the screen. So as we look at the graph, it's going up as we go through the day on Thursday. And you can also see those numbers there over there on the left. That's your wind speed, 60, 70, 80, 90 is the top right here, okay? Do we touch 90? No, we stay a little bit below it. But you do notice this triangle right here, this upside-down triangle. What is that? That's your max momentum transfer average. That's a little bit above 80, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And that's an important range that we see there. And this product works when we look at the forecast. We've got to identify the type of environment that the winds are encountering. And when we get a day like Friday where we're anticipating cold air, what we call advection, so we're pushing cold, drier air into the pattern, we get into an environment where the winds in the lower part of the atmosphere are more effective at mixing, okay? And that blending or that mixing effect then transfers those highest wind gusts more probable to the surface. Not all of them, but more of that happens. And that's bottom line is it's concerning when we see that. And this formula has worked for us in the past. That's Rapid City. I know you're going to type in Pier now.
Type it in Pier now. We'll just work our way backwards from west to east.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've got that same graphic over here that I looked at behind the scenes. And, yeah, you're right. It looks like 60 to 70 on this one, too.
60 to 70. You see the average there, that upside-down triangle. That is during the day on Friday. That's the wind gust. Again, that's with the momentum transfer. The sustained winds, they're healthy, too. We'll get to that graphic coming up here in a bit. But let's go ahead and show Aberdeen, ABR here. Have it generate that graphic. And then we'll just go ahead and slide down to our momentum transfer here. Now, it's not as high, but it's still showing up with some of these numbers between 50, 55. So, again, it's very strong winds as we get into Friday. One more stop here is Sioux Falls. And then I have another graphic that kind of just outlines everything, too, with what's expected for our wind on Friday. So, went a little bit too far there. Now, this one's coming in around 50. Maybe even a little bit more. And that's later in the day on Friday, too, for southeastern KELOLAND.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a graphic that I worked on. Showed this yesterday, showing it again today. We're just concentrating on our winds for Friday. I have the sustained winds probably averaging around the mid-20s, Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, 30 in Pier. Sustained winds of 35 to 40 in western South Dakota. Now, that was going off the graphic from earlier this morning. But we showed you what, the maximum can be with some of these wind gusts coming through. I went ahead and labeled Sioux Falls as 50 to 60. That's later in the day on Friday. Aberdeen 50, 55, Pierre 60 to 65, and of course Rapid City anywhere from 70 to 80 miles per hour.
So it's very strong. I know some of you are wondering, okay, is this as bad as that historic event in December in the hills? And the short answer right now is no. We're not projecting it quite as severe as that, but it's not far behind that.
No, it's not.
It's kind of in the family, if we were to kind of rate and stack these days up. I mean, this is definitely a lot of wind. But let's keep an eye on it. We've got, a little time yet, rest of today, tomorrow. So we'll keep hammering back at those details. We also want to float the idea that Sunday there's more wind coming, another clipper in the pattern. At first face value, probably at this point, Scott, not maybe quite as bad as Friday, but it still could be very windy, and it's also farther out in the forecast. So
you're right, and that of course can change too. But this started. What was it? We were looking at this Monday, a couple of days ago, suggesting that we could have very strong winds by the end of the week.
Yeah, and sure enough, here we are. So keep in mind all of these things. We're keeping a close eye on all these products. I do feel that product you just showed on the web, though, a minute ago, if that starts to flare any higher, that'll be your red flag that we're going to have more trouble. We'll keep an eye on it. We get more data later today.
And we'll talk about the snow that's coming with this wind on Friday as well. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to Weather or Not. We've talked about our wind for Friday. Brian, it's time to talk about our snow for Friday. And I really like your graphic here. It shows the snow and it also shows those wind arrows. And it's very interesting to watch what happens as we go through the day on Friday.
Yeah, the wind arrows there to represent obviously the forecast of the very strong winds, but also the effect of this snow. And in an interesting texture of the graphic, the blue colors, you notice the individual streaks and patches of snow. And what the modeling is trying to do here is it's attempting to latch onto this precipitation. And then it says, oh, there's a lot of wind here. And these little movements of these filaments of snow will move right along with the current of wind. And the arrows will carry them from northwest to southeast. So the bottom line is if you get into the middle of these, it's going to be a little challenging to see, and thus travel concerns come up on Friday. I'm going to click the play button here, and we'll kind of play this out during the Friday morning period. And it's pretty clear to see, isn't it? Just everything streaks from northwest to southeast.
Very interesting looking futurecast, I think.
It is, yeah. Very telling about the atmosphere and how things are going to be cooling. Dropping temperatures, we think will probably start the day maybe around 30, and that could very well be just after midnight.
I think it will be.
Friday morning, we're not impressed by the temperature forecast on Friday afternoon. I think it's pretty safe to say we'll be going in reverse. And sure, you could develop a little sun here and there, maybe in between some of these little patches of snow. But be careful because the wind entrainment, when we talk about 30 to 50 mile an hour winds, those snowflakes are going to be blowing sideways. And good luck to anybody that has the job of measuring the snow. That gets to be awfully hard on a windy day. I know in Sioux Falls at the Weather Service office, they do that. And given where their proximity is to the airport runway and all the wind that you get out on that side of town, it's hard. I definitely, and there's not a really good way to accommodate that. And a lot of our volunteer co-op observers around KELOLAND that volunteer their time to report these things from your local hometown. A lot of communities have a representative that does this. And you try to measure snow, and then you're trying to find an average across a certain amount of space, and then here comes the wind, and it blows it all into one spot.
Right, blows it into the one spot, and then I don't want to call them drifts, because we don't have much moisture in the atmosphere to begin with anyway.
Yeah.
That these are just, snow showers moving through it. But the problem is, as you mentioned, the strong winds, reduced visibilities. You can run through a couple of issues driving through these.
Absolutely, yeah. The visibility could be, it's possible you could get into a scenario where it's a near whiteout, and then it's pretty good again for a little while. Then you go back to it. So figure that Friday is going to be an irregular day. You're going to have some variability issues there. So,
and you mentioned the falling temperatures. One thing I don't think I have in my show is the wind chill. I was showing the wind chill this morning, and that was suggesting that we could have wind chills minus single digits, minus teens during the day on Friday. That's as temperatures are falling. Here's a look at what's going on with our snowfall forecast. Now, this takes us out to Saturday morning, and I'll run through 4 different models here. This is the in-house model, the Barron model. It picks up many locations coming in, I would say less than an inch. It's trying to bring in maybe a little more than that for Winter, Chamberlain, and you see those areas into northeastern South Dakota, also showing up at 1 to 2. I would say probably just a little bit more than an inch, but as we mentioned, very, very hard to measure because of the strong wind. Now, the European model more or less agrees with that, trying to bring in an inch or 2 into northeastern South Dakota, and that area there near Winter coming in around an inch or 2, so a little bit more than an inch, I would say, possible in Winter. Otherwise, many locations coming in less than an inch. Here's a look at the American model, the GFS. Many coming in at less than an inch. The only exception is Sisseton at 1 to 2 inches of snowfall. And the Canadian may be a little aggressive, Brian, but it shows a lot of areas coming in at 1 to 2, central eastern KELOLAND. I'm more so in favor of seeing many locations less than an inch. The exceptions may end up being northeastern South Dakota. And this graphic is a lot like the graphic I showed yesterday with the probability of seeing at least an inch of snowfall. Shows up across northeastern South Dakota into western Minnesota, but let's go 2 inches above that and say at least 3 inches of snow. It's hard to see any, except for the hills of western South Dakota, Brian, and they could use the snow.
Right, yeah. This northwest wind will actually probably lead to some orographic lift out there, and they might actually generate a little more snow. Not any blockbuster amounts, but at least it's something. But, yeah, you mentioned the probabilities there, and in my mind, too, in a scenario like this, as long as it's an inch, give or take a little bit, it's definitely worth our attention. If you're talking 2 inches of snow, it gets to be, more problematic. So the Canadian is the most aggressive out of the bunch that you just showed. The average, though, is under that. And certainly we'll be here in the Storm Center. We'll keep an eye on it here. By the way, I did find the wind chill graphic if you really want to show that.
Yes, I do.
Sometimes you give that job to me to do. It's like our running joke around here.
I mentioned it. You brought it up. Or you brought the graphic up. So go ahead and go through that.
I know. I do wind chill maps. It seems like over the years we, I kind of default to that job sometimes. But look at the number in Sioux Falls. That's Friday morning. I'm just kind of going back and forth here on that just to see the decline. Look at Friday afternoon. Sub-zero.
Yeah, during the day. That's
not very warm.
Yeah, it's falling temperatures, strong wind, a couple of streaks of snow in the air.
Yep. Then you got Saturday morning. Look at that start in the morning in Sisseton. Minus 26 for feels like temperatures. Sioux Falls, pretty close to a minus 20. That's where they maybe have some wind chill advisories in the Northeast if we're in the minus 20s.
And even minus single digits, those extend into western South Dakota.
Yep. It's not just the East. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely going to affect our whole region. Now, that only goes out to Saturday evening. Now, there is going to be a bump back on Sunday as temperatures try to warm. But then, as we're going to tease in the next segment, the pattern change to come. You've heard us talking about that on this program for a long time. So the very latest. This will be an interesting discussion, Scott.
Yes, and we'll talk more about it coming up. Stay with us. You're watching Weather or Not. Welcome back to our final segment of Weather or Not, where we talk about the weather pattern with Brian Karstens. Brian, this is something we talked about earlier this morning. That warm weather bill?
Yeah.
It's coming due, isn't it?
It's expensive, isn't it? It's gone up with inflation, I think.
This guy doesn't like it at all.
Yeah, isn't that funny how the weather works? Oh, my goodness.
So here comes Old Man Winter. See you soon.
Yeah.
He might do a day trip here for the weekend on Saturday.
I know, and that's one thing about this winter. We've had a number of ways to throw out analogies or how to describe this, and I kind of used an intermission. We had Act 1 maybe at the beginning of December, kind of in a break, but we're going to resume. And this is kind of the teaser headline going into early next week. You can see the departures from normal. Blue is below average. A lot of times this map has been flooded with orange and red and charcoal. And look at this. We get into next week. You know, it's not all cold. There is a little room for a bounce back middle of next week. But what we want to land on here sometime after, let's say, this last week of January, maybe it starts 22nd, 24th. If anything like this develops, boy, that's
far south that extends too.
Look at the scope of this. You know, this is something we don't always do on TV because we don't have time. But, look at the Alaskan connection.
Yep.
Warm. See how, and here's the other thing. Look at Greenland. Warm. Okay? Yep. You're looking at upper level ridging, displacing. It's squeezing this all out of the Arctic. Here's the other thing. Look at Siberia. Look how warm it is in Siberia, Scott.
Are we draining the bathtub?
Wow.
That's one expression you like to use.
Okay, so you saw it on this show.
Wow.
See, we've told folks,
colors.
Watch this program. We've got interesting things. Yeah, we've lost our color palette. So guess where it all drains?
Ugh.
If it drains as much as that's suggesting. Now, that's a model run, right? That's not, not the whole story yet, but it's something to watch. Now, you've got a couple other things here before we wrap up.
Yeah, I want to go through what we typically look at when we put a forecast together, especially the long-range forecast. And this goes out about 2 weeks, and you can see it takes us to the last couple of days of the month. And we've been mentioning that last week of January now is looking to be, probably the coldest out of the month. Yep. And you can see some evidence of that. This is a look at the European deterministic showing that temperatures may fall to the single digits, not only above zero, but below zero. It's coming in at 4 below on the 27th, 5 below on the 28th. And check out those overnight lows, too, into the teens below zero, approaching 20 below. Should I show another city, Brian?
You got to show Aberdeen.
I got to show Aberdeen.
Got to give some love to Aberdeen.
Well, here we go. That love is coming in at 5 below starting on the 24th, and it remains below zero going all the way out to the 28th. We don't see that temperature on the forecast model going above zero during that time of the 24th to the 28th. And look at those overnight lows. Notice how those are falling.
And again, it's a model run. We're not going to say exactly that it's going to get down to, by the way, that number is a 36 below zero.
Yuck.
Now, here's what it says to me quickly. It looks like this pattern is going to be a dam burst event if you get that many days in a row. So keep watching it in the forecast.
And we'll continue to watch it here as well. Thank you for joining us on this latest edition of Weather or Not.